Once upon a time, in a kingdom where the skies were always soft with starlight and the rivers shimmered like silver threads, there lived a little princess named Amira. She wasn't like other royals who loved feasts or jewels or long parades. Oh no! Amira was curious. She had questions like stars in her pocket and dreams that drifted far beyond the palace walls. Her favourite place in the whole wide kingdom. Not the throne room, not the royal ballroom, but the garden, because that's where her father, King Rayan, would meet her every evening, hand in hand, step by step, among flowers that changed colours at sunset. But in the middle of this magical garden stood something unusual. A mirror, tall, ancient, framed with vines of silver and gold. But this mirror didn't show your face as it looked on the outside. No, it showed who you truly were, inside your heart. One day, as the sky blushed with twilight, Amira looked up and said, "Papa, when will you let me go to the village? I want to see what it's like outside the palace." King Rayan knelt beside her and said gently, "You will, my star. But first you must learn the 4 truths of a wise heart. The garden will help you find them." The first truth, courage. The next morning, a servant brought her to a quiet grove where a hawk sat, its wing twisted and hurt. No one dared touch it. "He won't let anyone near," said the man. Amira was frightened. The hawk's eyes were sharp, its beak even sharper. But she remembered her father's words, so she sat, quietly, closer and closer. No loud moves, no fear, only calm. She waited for an hour. Then, just as the sun warmed her back, the hawk blinked slowly and leaned toward her. That night, she told her father, "I was scared, but I stayed." He smiled. "Then you've learnt the first truth. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the strength to move forward despite it." The second truth, kindness. A few days later, Amira saw the old gardener, bent and silent, working alone. Others laughed behind his back, but Amira didn't. Instead, she brought him water, sat beside him every day. No questions, no words. And one morning, he placed a seed in her hand, a moonflower seed, rare and glowing, pale blue. He pointed to the earth and smiled. That night, King Rayan said, "What did he say to you?" She replied, "Nothing, but I understood him anyway." The king nodded. Kindness doesn't need to speak. It's a language even silence understands. The third truth, truth 1. Morning she broke something very precious. A tall, ancient vase in the royal hall. A servant rushed in and whispered, "Princess, no one saw. I'll take the blame if you wish." Her heart pounded, but something inside her whispered, "Tell the truth." She went straight to her father, bowed. "I broke it. I'm sorry." He looked at her with calm eyes. A lie may shield you for a moment, but truth protects you forever. Amira exhaled and smiled, even through her guilt. The fourth truth, love. One stormy night, the castle walls shook with thunder. Amira couldn't sleep. She ran to her father's chambers, but the door was shut. A meeting was going on. She didn't knock. She just sat, wrapped in a blanket, outside the door. Time passed. Then the door opened. King Rayan saw her, said nothing, and sat beside her on the floor. They said not a word. They just listened to the rain together. And in that silence, Amira knew love is not in big words or big gifts. It's in simply showing up, being there when it matters most. The mirror at last. On her 12th birthday, King Rayan led Amira back to the mirror. "Now," he said, You are ready to look. She stepped before it, nervous, excited. And what did she see? Not a little girl in a fancy dress, not a crown, not even her face, but a young girl with quiet courage, with hands full of kindness, with honesty that glowed, and love that warmed the world around her. She gasped, "Papa, is that really me?" "Yes," he said, pulling her close. "You've learned the truths of a wise heart. You are ready, not just to walk into the world, but to shape it." And so, Princess Amira grew into Queen Amira, wise, gentle, and strong. People didn't remember her jewels or gowns. They remembered how she listened, how she forgave, how she helped. And in the garden, the mirror still stands, waiting for the next heart to reflect. Because in the end, the greatest treasures aren't worn on your head, but carried in your heart.